Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of The Catch Up. I'm going to be your host today. I'm Josh McGregor. I'm head of marketing at Salesfire. I'm joined, as always, by our CEO, Rich Himsworth, and got a very special guest this week. We've got Callum McKeefery with us, who is the CEO of the leading reviews platform, reviews.io. How are you doing, Callum?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thanks for having me on, Josh.
Can I just say, I love those that sweater.
The new hoodies.
Yeah, they're amazing.
This is a demo one. This is a sample they made up for us. New colour. And it's got a very smooth badge on it.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so we're just designing some new hoodies at the minute.
Nice.
I did a thing last night on LinkedIn where we had a new batch of 200 hoodies, and they went within 32 minutes, all of them gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're moving out into fashion as well now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's going to be good.
They're really smart.
I've just had a quote for some tracksuit bottoms because everyone's wearing tracksuit bottoms.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like the full tracksuit, like, you know, mafia sort of style from the 80s, like velour.
Like one of the Beastie Boys.
Velour bottoms, little zip. And everyone can just work like real leisure suit type of thing.
Rich, that's what we need. We need full tracksuits. We need
everyone just walking around offices of agencies in just these full tracksuits. Just looking.
That's like Wall-E or something, that isn't it? That's like a view of the future when everyone's working from home.
That's it. Everyone's working. Right. I kept thinking, right, what can I do? Everyone's working from home, so I've got a couple of things in the pipeline. I've got hopefully a big one next week coming out.
Keep our eyes peeled for that.
Then the tracksuit.
Oh, that's amazing.
Tracksuit.
So how are things going at the minute for reviews then? How have you found the last year? No, it's a big question, but
the biggest challenge for me has been that we weren't used to work from home environments. So that's been, you know, we had developers who did, you know, they always did a couple of days at least in the office a week, and now they're fully remote. And I work on the product team, and just managing the developers, working with the developers, I feel like the output has slightly dropped from what we're doing. And I think it's just been tough on a management side. On revenue side, it's been okay. Because we're in the SME space. We get squeezed a little bit when you know more smaller businesses go out, get hit, and we've really tried to support those businesses by giving them, you know, free periods and everything else. Where that, you know, we're really trying to say, look, if you're struggling, talk to us, and we'll try and keep your head above water by, you know, giving you a payment holiday or anything like that. Just really trying to be helpful on that side. But yeah, it's been good. We've been quite lucky because we've been so spread out. We've got Australia was very good throughout early on in the pandemic. Yeah. When the UK was really struggling, Australia was very strong. So that really helped us. Australia doesn't seem to be affected as much as the UK. Business is still firing there like normal now. Teams fully back in the office. Yeah. America, been hit pretty hard now. You know, like we're in California. California got smashed, so all the offices are remote there. And
I think from the outside,
you've got to change your strategy. Yeah, you guys know this. I mean, outbound is going to struggle because these people aren't in the offices, and the telephone numbers you have for cold calling aren't the ones in people's offices, homes. So outbound's dead. You got to be good at inbound.
The problem is with inbound, it takes a while to wind up. It's a slow thing to get progression on. Really,
it's a much longer sales cycle. You know, that point to get them, you've got to nurture a bit more. Yeah, and you've got to provide more information, and you've got to provide good service. I mean, all I'm focusing on, and I'm sure you guys are, is looking after our clients at the minute.
I think from the outside, looking at reviews, I think nurture there is a key word you brought up. Because I think in your space, you are the guys who seem to be the ones who are looking out for the client first and foremost.
Yeah, 100%.
That very much so comes across. I think it's quite a nice warm vibe.
This several times, haven't you, Josh? Kind of like, especially from the first lockdown, the way a lot of the big brands especially seem to have been kind of really missed the miss the target audience.
It's been puzzling, hasn't it?
Yeah,
massively. You've got they're just taking the clients for granted. They're just taking these businesses for granted that they're always going to be their customers, and that's not the case.
Yeah,
and, the market is evolved. It's evolved fast, and we're trying now to do things. And I'm sure you guys are. We're trying to develop things that are and just give them away. This will improve. But let's not screw you and say, right now you've got to pay $500. Like I see some of the emails that clients get from other review providers, and it's like, by the way, you've got a price increase. It's 300%. And if you don't like it, oh, sorry, you've already auto renewed. You've got to have it.
Like, how tonally wrong is that? Especially in the time of.
I seen one from BT. BT sent me one the other day saying you got a price increase in 13 days, and I was like, "What are you on about, guys?"
There's no some can get away with it. You don't kind of question, because they're just such big entities.
Yeah,
you kind of you don't like it, but you kind of go, well, it's just who's there to argue with.
I think it's that thing about them being a big entity. All of a sudden, it's. Hang on, where's the department for looking after people? They forgot about that. They forgot
it's just screw people. That's what it is. They're just intent. They've got investors, and all they're intent on is screwing out as much, squeezing out as much profit as possible.
Yeah, that's interesting what you're saying there, because obviously we've not gone through rounds of funding. You've done it all off your own back.
Yeah.
So I think there's a big difference in the outlook of our companies compared to these. Where they get investment. To be honest, a lot of the time when the company says that they've had a round of, they've had Series A, Series B, or whatever, they look at it as a big selling point to us, going, "Oh, look, this is how this is how good
badge of honor." They use
it's like we've just raised 15 million or whatever it might be, some ridiculous number.
Yeah.
But I look at it and go, right, you're under pressure then. You're under big pressure for sales.
Yeah,
they're just looking at sales as quick as possible to get the next series of funding.
Your focus goes away. I mean, I very in the early days of reviews, I did look at funding, and my focus completely went off the business and went into funding.
Yeah.
And then I turned around and looked at the business and went, well, we're not doing that great, really. I should be focusing my energies here.
Yeah.
And one, I didn't like the people I was talking to. So I was like, this is I actually don't like being in the room with you people. So I'm going to walk away. I'll never forget, I was in a meeting in Palo Alto, and the guy was just looking out the window when I was talking to him. And he didn't really have an understanding about what we were doing. And it was like, he really thought he was the smartest kid in the room, and didn't even care what we were saying or doing. And I thought, if I take this guy's money, he's just going to throw a couple of 100 salespeople down, and we're going to end up with pushing a crap product, having people who really should be selling used cars selling our product, and losing control. And I didn't want that. So literally, me and my wife, who's my co-founder, got in the elevator and was like, "That, I think we're not going to take that. I think we just go on," because
that's a big call,
didn't have a
isn't it?
fucking clue.
That's the thing. I mean, we were talking about the empathy of these big companies. If somebody at the top who's meant to be setting that is like that and is treating people like that,
yeah,
that feeds down. How's that? All of a sudden, the sales team aren't going to have that. All of a sudden, customer service aren't going to have that because they've been treated that way themselves.
It's got to be affecting
Culture,
the actual product itself. It's got to be having a negative effect, because I mean we're very aware of what our rivals are doing and what they've developed. And one of them's had about 15 million so far to date, and I genuinely don't know what the money's gone on.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What have they done with it?
Well, they're twice as old as us. I'll tell you what they've done. They've got a nice Sydney office. They've got a nice New York office. They've got a nice, it's that type of thing where it's almost this bravado, and they probably are winning big, like some blue chip clients off the back of it. But by and large, it just seems to go into just sales and consultants. That's the other thing.
I tweeted about the VC money. About 40% of it goes into.
I saw that. Yeah, that was
back into Amazon, Facebook, and Google.
Yeah.
And then the Amazon, Facebook, and Google indirectly or directly are in most funds. So they just keep re-pumping the money around, going, guys, you put this money out and then tell them to spend it back on our platforms. It seems to be the circle. And I mean, I'm sure not all like that, but there, you know, the cynic in me is just going, that there's only one winner when all this money gets pumped out. Normally, it's not the company who's taking it. In the odd case, when you get a massive unicorn that goes from zero to hero in a short amount of time, yeah. But those are million to one shots. And, you know, I couldn't do that with reviews. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to create a sustainable business that lasted the test of time by having clients that wanted to stay with us, not because they were under contract, but because we were offered a good service. Yeah. And I wanted to do that so my developers, when they were building the product, didn't get complacent.
Yeah.
And they thought, you know what, we've got to perform every month because we're going to lose that client. Yeah. And then we're not going to be able to, you know, so like we just launched a brand new product widget. It's amazing. It really is. It's 3 times faster than our old widget. And I'd say by far the fastest review widget in the industry. We've got some tests going on at the minute. And, you know, speed's important. Look at your search. Your search is the fastest internal search I've seen on any site. And yeah, we've just given it as a free upgrade, and it should be.
Yeah.
It should be, because the industry moves forward.
Yeah.
You've got to continue to develop.
Again, that seems to me to stem directly again from having a focus on culture. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got to think those guys, whoever sent that email to you from BT, they didn't get a branded tracksuit because the founder had thought, do you know what? Everyone's at home, everyone's in the sweats. Let's give them something. They never got that. They might get a gift card for somewhere random where someone just ticked the box and said, "We need to do this. Send a gift card." Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's something we find quite important here as well, isn't it? Culturally, it's something we try and protect quite fiercely at times.
Yeah, it's
we've always had a good culture, I think.
I think it is good. It's this nervousness that I've always got where as we grow, I mean, we're through 51 staff now, I think. And like it does weigh on me that gradually we become more this corporate entity where, you know, everything's got a structure and a procedure and things.
It's about 70 when it starts to like
70
implode on itself, and you see this thing go, well, I don't even know who that person is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got this tribe. First of all, you've got your gang, then you've got your tribe. And when you go into your city, you start having these going into hundreds. If you've not got the right structure at 70, it's very difficult to go from 70 to 30.
Yeah.
In any tech startup that I definitely see that a lot. And I've tried to level up by just learning about that. And that's all you can do is just keep learning from everyone's mistakes, read every book and every podcast, and just keep pushing forward.
Yeah. That's the territory I feel so we're in now, where it's a bit like we're into unknown territory a little bit. It's almost like, I dare say it's not been, I'm not going to say it was easy, but like, I feel like there's been a fairly common sense roadmap to get to where we are now. Yeah, and things everything branches off. It's like that branch has so many twigs on it, and there's more, there's more things just spawn off all the time. Like
one thing I noticed as we scaled, you couldn't communicate in the same way because the people you're communicating don't know you as well, Rich. And you're going to get this. You're going to get that when you say things to your original team, they will act in a certain way because they get your personality. So when you're saying, "Oh, well, that's okay," your original team know that what you're really meaning is, shit, go and redo it.
I know that. I've seen that first. Yeah.
And so but as you get bigger and you turn around and you say, that's okay.
Then
that developer goes, sound, it's okay, fuck it. You know what I mean? And nothing. So what I've been trying to do and change this, because my original 4 or 5 developers and my original team, they get me and they go, yeah, he really didn't like that. That's shit. We've got to go back to the drawing board. And then the new people go, oh, So at some point you've got to go and work on your communication, and you've got to be really, really candid with the people, and you've got to go, that's shit. You know, you've got to tell everybody directly. No, it can be interpreted this way, or it can be interpreted that way.
I think it's getting to the point as well. I'm always guilty of kind of fluffing around things. Like, I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want it to have a knock-on effect or whatever. So I'll kind of fluff around it and gradually almost like selling an idea into someone. But the time of year that takes up doing that. And then what happens is it comes back to haunt you quite often.
Yeah, because now you own the problem. That's the problem. That's the thing. Because you've sold it.
That is very interesting.
You own the problem now.
Yeah.
Because you're the person who sold it to them. So what there's one really good book in this space, Radical Candor. I forget who writes it. It's written by
we'll put the links in the comments.
I think she was at Facebook. I think she was at Facebook with Sheryl Sandberg. Really, really good book. It's on Audible. And it just talks about how when Facebook was growing, what Sheryl Sandberg did and what they were doing, that they had to change their communication to be forthright. And it's massively helped me. And I know it's a well-rated book, so I'd recommend that one to you, Rich. Definitely, Radical Candor. Give it a go.
Kim Scott. Keelan's just...
You got it?
Yeah, I googled it.
So, how has your business been overall?
Ours has been, I guess, it's been frustrating. So we've grown month on month, but we're used to growing. I mean, in our first year, we grew from, I think we got to 400K. Then we went to just a couple of grand shy of $1 million.
Yeah. And
then this next year, we'll probably hit about 1.5, but financial year end of June. So we'll probably hit about 1.5, but the frustration's there because we're all set up and geared up to go through 2.5 at least this year. So it's just, it's what you touched on before. It was the outbound stuff. So the outbound is not as successful. You cannot get hold of people. They're working from home and things. It's the whole decision-making structure from a prospect side is kind of disabled. You've got the directors busy looking after the shops or whatever and worrying about when they're turning around and they're going to open again.
Yeah.
Trying to balance the books and negotiate things. You've got Brexit and products stuck with customs in France or wherever it might be, and they've got all these things going on. You've got your e-commerce manager they've got their own issues that they're dealing with at the moment. You've got the finance guy with different issues, and basically those connective decisions they're not really being put off to a little bit. But when we came out of lockdown last time, the last 2 times I guess, we had record months. Our biggest ever month, it's usually completely dead for us, was December. So we had we had record. It was our record month in November. It was our record month in February, just before we went into the lockdown last year. And then we came back out of it, had the record month in November, and then I think December actually was our second. It was just slightly behind. But then back into it again, we're back into this whole process again where it's almost like we're filling up the pipeline with conversations and hopefully release coming back out again.
When people are thinking about survival rather than optimization, I feel like right now people are thinking just getting through the next day. Whereas we're very much an optimization platform. Do you know what I mean? People that's not where their focus is right now.
Yeah, I kind of agree on that.
They should be looking at this. They should be looking at like making the most of what the traffic is, if anything.
That's what I was going to say. They should be trying to squeeze every bit of revenue out of their site so their CPA is less.
Yeah,
and that's what you guys do. That's what we do. It's about the companies have got to focus on their cost per acquisitions and get that number down. Because if you can get that number down and get revenue up, you've got a good business. Whereas if you're just burning ad cash you're burning cash. If you're CPA and you're not converting, you're burning cash.
That's it. Now's an ideal time for it because everyone's kind of winding back the budgets a little bit in terms of their ad spend because it's not Christmas. We haven't really got
mad numbers.
Occasions at the moment. So everyone reins it back. It's a good opportunity to fine tune that to then grow again, because you're going to feel the benefits of that as you grow again.
Touching back on what we discussed earlier regarding the brands that sort of didn't know how to communicate through these periods, the brands that have flown, I'll count reviews as part of this as well, are the ones that kept the noise up. If not even that, they actually were noisier. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we made a concerted effort. Me and Tom discussed really early on. Tom's our COO in Australia and globally, but he's in Australia. We made a real concerted effort that not to go quiet, 2, not to rein any budget back, even double down in many cases. We've doubled down.
Yeah.
You know, we were like, should we close our Germany office? Because Germany's a new market. We'd only just gone into it. We were 2 months in. Like, should we cut our costs? And we went, no, let's, if we believe in the brand and we believe in the long term, why are you doing that? So we did. We doubled down and we kept, you know, pedal on the gas sort of thing. And don't get me wrong, we were burning more cash. We were less profitable, but probably, you know, we hope on the other end it'll come out and be like, actually, we've kept our brand up in consumers' eyes, in our clients' eyes. You know, we're not, the difference between us and Trustpilot is Trustpilot had 200 odd million investment and threw it all at marketing, and you know, they pay to get on people's TV adverts, and that's really worked for them. But we're bootstrapped. I can't go to somebody, it's 300 grand if you put my banner on your advert. You know, we just can't do it. So we've focused our efforts on other ways, you know. And we actually see Trustpilot less and less as a competitor. You know, they're less and less. But you know, I can't describe how much we don't see them anymore. I know I talk about them a lot. I talk about them because they're, you know, they've done some what looks to be some really shady things. And I think even if I wasn't in the review space and I was doing another business, I'd still be talking about this because it's shady as hell if this is true what they've been doing.